story we're keeping a very close eye on this morning. A magnitude 8.2 earthquake hit off the coast of Alaska within the last hour, and now there are tsunami warnings and watches.
That quake hit just off Kodiak, south of Anchorage, where police are now telling people to get to higher ground. Meteorologist Sheeta Craft starts us off here. And Sheeta, this could be impacting Hawaii as well.
Yeah, it really could. Not only Alaska, we could be talking about portions of Hawaii and now extending down into the Pacific Northwest. These waves, I mean, can be catastrophic and really devastating. It'll just be a matter of time. But yeah, with this warning in effect, pretty much most of Alaska here, they are calling for most anyone under this warning to get to higher ground. So I tell you what, anyone in this area right now, they are waking up in a panic. Now here locally, you're waking up to temperatures in the 30s and 40s. We're going to continue to track that and update you on that as well. 29 though in Conroe. I want you to be prepared. You got to grab the big coats today. A lot colder this morning compared to yesterday. 38 in Sugar Land, 38 in Pearland, 50 degrees in Galveston. So throughout the day today, we're going to warm up nicely. I mean, we have a beautiful forecast here for your Tuesday. But this morning, it is cold. Grab those jackets. Now, Darby, by the afternoon, we'll be tracking mid to low 60s.
Ooh, nice. All right, thank you, Cheetah. Hey, I found some more overnight roadwork that's yet to come down. They turned a camera in the right position, and boom, Gulf Freeway outbound, basically from Telephone Road to Wayside. It looks like they're blocking off 3 left lanes, which would mean just 1 right lane getting through. You can see here as we look at Telephone Road, you can see the cones they've got up here, or the barrels, I should say, and the arrow signs. You just keep getting squeezed on over. So it looks like you're down to 1 lane as you go over Wayside. So traffic's going to be a little slow in the area going outbound. Coming inbound, you should not be affected by this. Again, this is the Gulf Freeway southbound, Telephone to Wayside, 3 left lanes blocked off. It should be coming down the next few minutes. Should be. You know what I mean? Gulf Freeway, 23 minutes, League City Parkway to downtown, so coming in, you are not affected. 288, 17 minutes, Highway 6 to downtown, no problems there. And if you take the Fort Bend Toll Road in from Sienna Plantation, just 8 minutes from Highway 6 all the way into South Main.
Thanks, Darby.
HPD Chief Art Acevedo is talking about the latest crime stats here in Houston, and this morning we want your take.
Yeah, the good news is crime is down, but based on the online comments that we're seeing from you, a lot of you don't feel actually safer in your neighborhoods. This morning, Brandy's here to break down what's going on. Brandy?
Yeah, guys, this has been a big conversation on our Facebook page over the past 24 hours. We're going to get to your comments like these ones. But first, our live polls fired up. We're asking, do the crime numbers reflect how you feel about safety in Houston? You can let us know what you think by visiting khou.com/vote now or using our KHOU 11 News app. And so you make an informed vote. Here's a look at those numbers.
The good news is that the overall crime report in the city of Houston is down 2.1%.
Here's a little more good news. Murders dropped by 10% in 2017. Other crimes like robberies, burglaries, and car thefts were down too. Now the bad news. 2 crimes saw a bump. HPD investigated 12% more sexual assaults last year, and aggravated assaults shot up nearly 14%. There was also a drop, and not a good one, in response times to what the chief dubbed quality of life calls, things like noise complaints or burglaries.
I'm sorry, but when you're down to 5,100 officers in 2018 in a city that 20 years ago had 500,000 fewer residents but 300 more cops, that doesn't add up.
And we carried that press conference live on our Facebook page. It garnered a lot of comments, like a few of these, talking about the higher sex assault numbers. Natalie says those numbers being higher could be from more people reporting them. With the Me Too movement, more people are coming forward. She says that is good. Now, Robert says, I know how small the police force is because I have family in it. He says we need more officers desperately. They can only do so much. Taxpayers need to step up and know and help get more officers. And Yolanda says, blah, blah. There were 2 shootings in my area and they steal tires off trucks like no tomorrow. But crime is down. Blah, blah. So this is a hot topic right now. We're going to jump on Facebook Live because this was a conversation that really got started. People talking to one another, sharing their experiences in their neighborhood. So we want to know, how does it feel like in your neighborhood? Does it feel like crime's gone down? You can log on to the KHOU 11 Facebook page and add your 2 cents.
You want to hear those numbers falling, but you completely understand why some folks just don't feel as safe in their own neighborhoods.
Sure. It all comes down to what's happening on your block,
Absolutely.
Right. If one of those murders happens in your neighborhood, it doesn't feel like crime's gone down.
Yeah. Thanks, Brandy, very much. Yep. New overnight, a Friendswood house caught fire, severely burning a man. Happened just before 11 last night. This is on Pleasant Drive in the Forest Bend neighborhood. A family of 5 was actually inside the home at the time. A dog and a bird died in the fire, and right now investigators aren't sure exactly how the fire started.
U.S. Olympic gymnast Aly Raisman is calling for an independent investigation into the U.S. Olympic Committee. On Twitter, Raisman, who has spoken out against former team doctor Larry Nassar, says the committee is also at fault, adding that allowing 3 board members to simply resign doesn't do enough to address the problem. USA Gymnastics is investigating one of its former Olympic coaches who has ties to Larry Nassar. John Geddert coached the gold medal winning team at the London Olympics in 2012. He also operated 2 gyms that employed Larry Nassar, and according to parents and gymnasts who trained at one of those gyms, Geddert mandated his gymnasts only see Dr. Nassar for treatment.
This morning, the federal government is open for business. 3 days into the shutdown, lawmakers struck a short-term spending deal. But as reporter Hannah Doba explains this morning, work toward a longer agreement is far from over.
The governmental shutdown is over. President Trump, after signing the short-term funding extension passed by both chambers of Congress, tweeted, "Big win for Republicans as Democrats cave on shutdown. Now I want a big win for everyone, including Republicans, Democrats, and DACA, but especially for our great military and border security." Democrats, though, say the president is not to thank, insisting he was absent for most of the negotiations.
The great deal-making president sat on the sidelines.
Look, what the president did clearly worked.
The bill, which includes a 6-year extension of the Children's Health Insurance Program, funds the government only through February 8th. Senate Democrats agreed to support the bill after Republican leaders committed to addressing DACA, young immigrants brought here illegally as children, so-called dreamers.
Now those talks can get going again.
Leadership on both sides say much of the thanks for ending the shutdown goes to a bipartisan group of about 24 senators who worked behind the scenes on a compromise. Hannah Doba, CBS News.
And as part of the spending deal, government employees who worked during the shutdown, they will get paid for those hours.
New details are emerging about a California couple accused of holding their 13 children captive. A family member says the parents dreamed of becoming reality television stars. According to that relative, the couple hoped to star in a show focusing on a large, all-American family. Instead, David and Louise Turpin now face 37 felony counts of torture, false imprisonment, and child abuse. Both parents have pleaded not guilty. If convicted, they could spend the rest of their lives in prison. Bill Cosby says he performed at a Philadelphia jazz club because he wanted to enjoy being with friends and the people who turned out to see him. Last night, the 80-year-old got on stage for the first time since a sex abuse scandal broke in 2015. During that show, Cosby joked he used to be a comedian, and after the show, he refused to talk about his upcoming retrial on sex assault charges.
Overnight, a volcano erupted in the Philippines. Look at this. 40,000 people living below have evacuated now. That lava shot 23,000 feet above the mountain's crater. This explosion was the most powerful since that volcano started acting up more than a week ago.
Wow. Okay. Well, Cheetah, not so serious here at home. There's a temperature change we're talking about, though, today.
Big time. I mean, 32 degrees colder this morning compared to yesterday in Angleton. 30 degrees colder in Pearland, 31 in Sugar Land, 29 in Conroe. I mean, that's a pretty big 24-hour temperature change there. So you need those big coats if you're heading outside. 29 in Conroe, 38 this morning in Sugar Land, 38 in Pearland. Most of you starting just above the freezing point, but we are tracking a few areas below from Conroe into Cleveland this morning. So again, a pretty cold start to your Tuesday morning. Let me show you this afternoon, though. You have a beautiful day setting up. Lunchtime temps goes to 59, 64 this afternoon. So a nice forecast for your Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. High pressure briefly building in before our next cold front arrives by Friday and Saturday. Let me show you. High temperatures today in the mid to low 60s. Winds are calm this morning. Winds should remain out of the northeast and then continue to shift more out of the east southeast, especially for your Wednesday and Thursday. That'll increase the cloud cover. You may even notice that this afternoon a few more clouds will kind of build in, and you'll notice that right before you go to bed. That'll also help our overnight lows start to build just a little bit. So tomorrow morning will be another cold start, and then by Thursday and Friday we're going to transition to a lot more mild conditions. By the weekend, if you have anything planned for this Saturday or Sunday, I'm not expecting a complete weekend washout. Just know that you have the chance for a few afternoon scattered showers. Temperatures, though, will be pushing 70 as we head into your Friday and Saturday. With our next cold front, once it moves out, temperatures will drop next week. And really, even all of next week, it looks to be pretty nice where temperatures really should be. So, Darby, finally, we're talking average seasonal temps for this time of the year.